2 words, that is all it takes. In Moscow, in St. Petersburg, in every city where the concrete goes grey and the winters go long and the distance between having nothing and having everything is measured not in years of education or decades of honest work, but in who you know, what you are willing to do, and whether you are still breathing on the other side of it. 2 words. Bratva. Brotherhood. Except it is not a brotherhood. It has never been a brotherhood. Brotherhood implies warmth. Brotherhood implies that someone, somewhere in the structure, actually cares whether you come home. What the Bratva actually is a machine. The most efficient, most ruthless, most coldly constructed criminal machine in modern history. No ceremony, no ancient code, no ritual that protects you. Just ranks and money, and the absolute understanding that the moment you stop serving the machine continues without you. Today you are going to live inside it. Every rank. From the street corner at 2 a.m. to the tower above the city. From the boy with nothing to the man with everything. And the discovery at the very top that everything and nothing are closer together than anyone at the bottom ever warned you. This is your life at every rank of the Russian Bratva. Let's begin. It is a street soldier, Boyevik. You start on the street, no ceremony, no initiation ritual, no sake cup and sworn brotherhood. Someone vouched for you, a relative, a neighbor, someone who owed someone a favor. And now you are here, standing on the corner in Moscow at 2 a.m., being told what block is yours and what you are expected to collect from it by Friday. You are not given a weapon, you are not given a salary, you are given a territory and an expectation, and the unspoken understanding that failing to meet that expectation is not a conversation anyone will be having with you twice. Your job is collections. Protection payments from shop owners, market traders, restaurant owners, anyone operating a business on your block. They pay. You deliver upward. You keep a percentage so small it barely covers the cost of standing outside in a Russian winter. You have no title, no rank insignia, no business card, nothing that connects you to anything above you. If you are arrested tonight, nobody above you knows your name. That is not an accident. That is the architecture. Here is what nobody tells you on day one. The Bratva does not recruit the way other organizations recruit, it absorbs. One day you are a young man from a difficult neighborhood who knows someone who knows someone. The next day you are standing on a corner at 2 a.m. and the life you had before is already behind a door that closed while you were looking the other way. There was no moment of choice. There was just a series of small steps that each seemed reversible until they were not. Level 2 Brigadier's crew member. Bik. You have proven 2 things. That you can collect without being arrested and that you can keep your mouth shut. That is enough. You are now part of a crew. A bik, which translates without any softness, is bull, is muscle. You go where the brigadier send you. You stand where you are told to stand. You hit what you are told to hit. You carry what you are told to carry without asking what is inside it. The crew has 5, maybe 6 members. You eat together. You work together. You spend more hours with these men than with anyone else in your life. Some of them you will trust completely. That trust will be the most dangerous thing you own. The money is better now. Not good, better. Enough to rent something that is not a shared room. Enough to eat at a restaurant occasionally. Enough to feel the first faint suggestion that this life might eventually become something. You work directly under a brigadier who runs several crews across a district. He knows your name. For the first time in this organization, someone above you knows your name. But here is the thing about being muscle. Muscle is not strategy. Muscle is not irreplaceable. Muscle is the part of the organization that absorbs consequences when something goes wrong. Arrests, retaliation, rival violence. The Bratva does not protect its biki. It replaces them. There are always more young men from difficult neighborhoods who know someone who knows someone. You are not special. You are current. Level 3 Brigadier. Brigadier. Now you are running something. A brigadier commands multiple crews, anywhere from 30 to 100 men depending on the organization and the city. You manage a district, you oversee the collections, the operations, the discipline. When two of your crew members have a problem with each other, you solve it before it becomes a problem for the people above you. You have a car now, a real one. You have an apartment that you chose rather than settled for. You have men who answer your calls immediately, regardless of the hour, because not answering is not an option they are willing to explore. You sit between two worlds, close enough to the street to manage it, elevated enough to attend meetings where the street is discussed as territory rather than lived as reality. You wear better clothes, you speak more carefully. You are starting to understand that in this organization, the most dangerous thing a man can do is draw attention to himself from rivals, from police, or from the people above him. For the first time, you have something to lose. That changes everything about how you move. The brigadier is the most exposed rank in the entire Bratva. Senior enough to know things that are dangerous to know. Junior enough to have no real protection from the people above. When the police need an arrest that satisfies the media, they take a brigadier. Senior enough to look significant, dispensable enough that the organization barely pauses. When a rival organization wants to send a message, they send it to a brigadier. Senior enough to hurt the organization, junior enough not to trigger a war. You are exactly senior enough to be a target, not quite senior enough to be untouchable. Potru autoritet, authority. The title says exactly what it means. You now command a significant portion of a city's operations. Multiple brigadiers answer to you. The money flowing through your hands every week would make a legitimate businessman dizzy. You have political contacts, local officials, police commanders, judges, not friends, relationships of mutual financial interests that function as protection when the organization needs it. You do not go to the street anymore. The street comes to you in the form of reports, numbers, and the occasional problem that could not be resolved below your level. You sit in restaurants and offices and private rooms, and the decisions you make are implemented by people you will never personally meet. You are, by any external measure, successful, wealthy, powerful, respected, in the specific way that fear manufactures respect reliably and at scale. You have survived long enough and climbed high enough that your name means something inside the organization, not just to the men below you, to the men above you as well, and that, the moment your name means something to the men above you in Su, is when the nature of the danger changes completely. Below this rank, the danger is external, police, rivals, street violence. Above this rank, the danger is internal. The Bratva has no formal succession structure, no established protocol for what happens when someone at the top decides that someone below them has become inconvenient. An autoritet with too much money, too much loyalty from his brigadiers, too much name recognition is not celebrated. He is assessed, and the assessment is never shared with the person being assessed. Level 5. Pakhan's deputy. Italsechid Obshchak controller. You now control the Obshchak the communal fund, the financial heart of the entire organization. Every collection from every street, every protection payment from every business, every revenue stream from every operation the organization runs. A percentage of all of it flows into the Obshchak, and you control where it goes. Legal costs for arrested members, payments to officials, operational funding for new ventures, support for members' families when a member disappears. The Obshchak is not just money, it is the organization's immune system. As long as it is funded and managed correctly, the Bratva can absorb arrests, survive crackdowns, rebuild after conflicts. The man who controls it is one of the 2 or 3 most powerful figures in the entire structure. You are in the room when the Pakhan makes decisions. Your counsel is sought, your loyalty is assumed. You have access to information about the organization's true financial scale that would make a law enforcement officer's career. Everything you have worked toward has led to this room, this access, this proximity to the absolute top. Controlling the Obshchak means you know everything. Every bribe, every payment, every name connected to every transaction the organization has made for years. You are the most informed person in the organization after the Pakhan himself. In most hierarchies, information is protection. In the Bratva, information of this depth is a liability as much as an asset. You know too much to be allowed to leave. You know too much to be fully trusted. You are indispensable and untransferable, and the Pakhan, the man who gave you this position, understands better than anyone what a man who knows everything is capable of if his loyalty ever shifts by even a single degree. Level 6 boss. At the madrasat was Pakhan. You are the Pakhan, the boss, the 4 letters that make every other word in this organization conditional. Thousands of men operate under your authority across multiple cities, sometimes multiple countries. The Obshchak holds more money than most legitimate businesses will ever see. Politicians who publicly campaign against organized crime return your calls privately. You have not personally committed a crime that anyone could prove in over a decade because you do not need to. Every crime in the organization is committed at least 3 layers below you by men who do not know your last name. You live extraordinarily well. Properties in cities you visit and cities you do not. You are, by every measure that the organization uses to measure things, at the top. 3 Pakhans before you died in circumstances that were never officially explained. 1 fled to a country without extradition and has not been seen publicly since. The current head of a rival Bratva faction has survived 4 assassination attempts in 2 years and considers this a reasonable average. You sit at the top of a structure that has no retirement policy, no severance arrangement, and no mechanism for peaceful transition of power. The only exits from this position are the ones nobody chooses voluntarily. The Pakhan does not fear the police. Police are managed. Does not fear rivals. Rivals are handled. Does not fear the street. The street has not been relevant to his personal safety for 15 years. The Pakhan fears the table. The men seated at it, the ones he promoted, the ones who know enough, the ones who are patient. The ones who look at the chair at the head of the table and have been looking at it for a very long time, with an expression that is very carefully constructed to look like loyalty. The Bratva has no code that protects the man at the top, no oath that holds when ambition becomes large enough. The top of this organization is not a destination, it is a position that requires defending every single day from the people who want it most, and the people who want it most are already in the room. 6 ranks, no rituals, no code, no father who calls you his son. The Bratva is not the Yakuza. It does not offer belonging dressed as brotherhood. It does not offer identity dressed as loyalty. It offers one thing and one thing only, money and the power that money manufactures, and it takes one thing in return that it never fully itemizes on the invoice. Everything, your freedom on day 1, your safety on day 2, your choices somewhere around the 3rd rank, your sleep around the 4th, your trust in anyone in the room by the 5th. And at the top, if you reach it, if you survive it, your ability to ever sit in a room full of people and believe, truly believe, even for one evening, that you are safe. The Yakuza at least gives you a ceremony when you join, a sake cup, a ritual. The suggestion that what you are entering is something ancient and meaningful. The Bratva gives you a corner and a collection deadline. And somehow, for the men who walk into it, that is enough. The question was never whether you could climb. The question was always what would be left of you at the top, and whether, looking back down at every rank you passed through to get there, you would be able to find the moment it stopped being a choice. You will not find it. Nobody ever does.